I never expected my life to take such a turn, and certainly not with him. My stepbrother, Ryan, had been in my life for years, ever since our parents got married when we were teenagers. We weren't like most step-siblings. There was no rivalry, no awkwardness. Instead, we had an unspoken bond, a closeness that felt natural, effortless. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. At first, it was subtle. The way he'd look at me a second longer than necessary, the way his hand would brush against mine and linger. It was the way he understood me, how he'd always be the first to notice when I was upset. It wasn't just brotherly concern. It was something else. And I knew it. One evening, during a family vacation, everything changed. We had rented a cabin by the lake, a quiet, secluded place where the nights were filled with nothing but the sound of water against the shore and crickets in the distance. The adults were inside, drinking and laughing, oblivious to the fact that Ryan and I were out on the deck, alone under the soft glow of the lanterns. We sat in silence for a while, watching the moonlight dance on the water surface. Then he spoke. "I don't think anyone has ever understood me the way you do," he said softly. His voice was different that night. He wasn't joking or teasing like he usually did. I felt my heart pound, unsure how to respond. "Of course I do. We grew up together." He turned to face me, his eyes holding a depth I hadn't noticed before. "It's not the same. You feel it too, don't you?" I froze. The air between us felt heavier than ever before. I could feel my breath catch in my throat, my mind racing with thoughts I had pushed away for so long. I had always told myself it was just admiration, just sibling affection. But deep down, I knew that was a lie. "Ryan." My voice was barely above a whisper. He reached for my hand, holding it in his thumb grazing over my skin in a way that sent shivers down my spine. "No one will ever find out," he murmured, as if that simple sentence could erase all the consequences, all the fear. I should have pulled away. I should have stopped it before it started. But I didn't. Instead, I let myself fall into the moment, let myself believe in the illusion that we could keep the secret. Because in that moment, nothing else mattered. The secrecy made it intoxicating. Every stolen glance, every accidental touch felt electrifying. We weren't just step-siblings anymore. We were something else, something unspoken yet undeniable. We found ways to be alone without raising suspicion. Late-night kitchen runs, extended study sessions, small moments in the hallway when no one was looking. It was thrilling and terrifying all at once. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't stop. Neither could he. One evening, the house was unusually quiet. Our parents had gone out, leaving us alone. We sat on the couch, pretending to watch a movie, but neither of us was paying attention. The tension between us had been growing for weeks, and tonight, it was unbearable. Ryan turned to me, his expression unreadable. "Do you ever think about what would happen if people knew?" I swallowed hard. "All the time." "But you still want this?" I didn't answer right away. Instead, I searched his face for doubt, for hesitation, for any sign that he was second-guessing this the way I was. But all I saw was certainty. "Yes," I admitted. That was all it took. He leaned in, and before I could think, his lips were on mine. It was soft, tentative at first, as if he was waiting for me to stop him. But I didn't. I kissed him back, letting the reality of our choices fade into the background. When we pulled away, his eyes searched mine, waiting for regret, for guilt. But all I felt was relief, as if something that had been building for years had finally been set free. From that moment, everything changed. We weren't just hiding feelings anymore. We were hiding something real, something tangible. The thrill of secrecy only made it more intoxicating. But the more we tried to keep it hidden, the more reckless we became. Small touches in public, lingering looks at the dinner table. It was dangerous, and deep down, I knew it was only a matter of time before someone noticed. One afternoon, as I passed by my mother in the kitchen, she gave me a look that made my stomach drop. "You and Ryan have been spending a lot of time together lately," she said casually, stirring her coffee. I forced a smile. "We always have." She nodded, but didn't look convinced. Just be careful, sweetheart. It was a simple sentence, but it felt like a warning. I brushed it off, convincing myself that no one knew that we were careful. But I was wrong. Someone was watching. And our secret wouldn't stay a secret for much longer. Ryan started pulling away. At first, it was subtle, shorter replies, avoiding being alone with me. Then it became obvious. He stopped texting as much, stopped seeking me out the way he used to. The connection we once shared was slipping, and I didn't understand why. One night, I confronted him. You're acting different. What's going on? He sighed, running a hand through his hair. People are starting to notice, he muttered. It's risky. His words stung. You didn't care about the risk before. He avoided my gaze. Things were different before. A sinking feeling settled in my stomach. Before? Before what? Before someone found out? Before he realized this wasn't worth it? Then the truth hit me like a slap. My best friend pulled me aside after class. We need to talk, she said, her voice hesitant. I saw you and Ryan a few weeks ago. I didn't want to believe it, but I know. My chest tightened. You don't understand. I don't need to understand, she interrupted. But others will find out. People talk. You need to stop before it's too late. Panic coursed through me. If she knew, who else did? How much longer before the truth reached our parents? Before everything fell apart? I went straight to Ryan. She knows, I blurted. My best friend saw us. His face paled. Did she tell anyone? She says she hasn't, but it's only a matter of time. What do we do? Ryan hesitated, and in that moment, I saw the fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing me, but fear of being caught. We need to end this, he said. I stared at him, waiting for him to take it back, to tell me we'd figured out. But he didn't. So that's it. My voice cracked. You're just walking away? I have to, he whispered. Anger, hurt, betrayal, they all crashed over me at once. I had given him everything, trusted him when I shouldn't have, and now, he was leaving me to deal with the fallout alone. The next morning, everything came crashing down. My mother's voice was sharp, accusing. Is there something you want to tell me? My stomach dropped. What do you mean? She sighed, shaking her head. Don't lie to me. I looked at Ryan, hoping, praying, he'd say something, take some of the weight off my shoulders. But he stayed silent. Tell me the truth, she demanded. And in that moment I knew there was no way out. The secret we swore to protect had already destroyed everything. The silence in the room was suffocating. My mother's disappointment was worse than anger. She didn't yell, didn't demand explanations. She just looked at me like I was someone she no longer recognized. That hurt more than anything. Ryan sat across from me, avoiding eye contact, as if distancing himself would erase everything. I waited for him to step in, to share the blame, but he never did. It was a mistake, he finally muttered, his voice barely audible. A mistake. That was all it was to him. I felt my chest tighten, my hands trembling as I realized I was alone in this. The person who convinced me that what we had was real was now the same person who wanted to pretend it never happened. My mother didn't press for details. She didn't need to. The damage was done. By the next morning, arrangements had been made. I was to stay with my aunt for a while, away from the whispers, the judgment, the shame. As I packed my bags, Ryan stood at my door, watching. I didn't mean for this to happen, he said quietly. I scoffed. Didn't you? He exhaled sharply, but he had no response. No excuse. No apology that could change what had already been ruined. Leaving felt like an escape, but it didn't make the pain any less real. I spent weeks in my aunt's house, replaying every moment, every decision that led to this. At first, I wanted to believe Ryan regretted what he did, that he missed me, that he felt even a fraction of what I was feeling. But the truth was he moved on. And eventually I had to do the same. He tried reaching out once. A message, simple and empty. I'm sorry. I never replied. Because sorry didn't erase the betrayal. It didn't change the fact that he was willing to throw me aside the moment things got difficult. Time passed, and the pain dulled, but the lesson stayed. Love should never be built on secrets, and trust should never be given to someone who isn't willing to fight for you. I walked away with scars, but I walked away stronger. And that was enough.